Alrighty then. Well, this is where I have intro music if I bother to get any. But welcome to the first Yellowknife Wraiths podcast. Name pending as something that I'll come up with that's really clever. All right, today I have Homer slash Thor Dangerson with me, and the Skinny Man, or I'm gonna get it right the first try. Sergey Nunkenblock.
Sergey, but yeah.
Sergey. Okay, well, I was close. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah, coming off a big win. We're on a good
Yeah,
roll at the moment.
yeah. I'm for being an 8-8 team for so long, it's kind of nice to have us win like that. Undefeated in my era as GM, but that's definitely gonna hold up the rest of the season, right?
Yeah, Chicago slash Osaka now. They always beat us. It was
Yeah.
very annoying.
Well, as an ex Liberty player, I have a deep hatred of Chicago. No particular reason, I just do. So it does feel good to win like that. We'll start with some easy questions first, then I'll get into some real deep, personal spiritual questions, like about
Amen.
what your favorite bone is. But you think about that one, right?
Oh, favorite bone. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very important.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, how did you guys find the ISFL? You about Homer? You go first.
Me? Okay. Um, Reddit. I was part of the big Reddit class in season 44 for the
Okay.
draft class. So.
Well, that was nice and recent.
Yeah, pretty recent. Seems like ages ago. Actually, it's been an entire year now.
Has it been a
I
year
believe.
since the
Yeah,
44 class?
when they first came in. Yeah, it's been a year.
Oh my god.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think I was also. I think I was also a Reddit class. I was
Season
season
47.
46, I believe.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, one
That's
of
what
us was
that's what it
definitely Reddit
says.
class.
That's what it says on my player card. At least
Hey,
that's when I got drafted, season 46.
there you go. We'll take that. Well, see, you guys are both nice and young. I
Yeah,
got
it's
here.
46.
I got here season 21. So
Okay.
I've been here a while. I definitely have not been active the entire time, but I have been here.
Boomer.
Uh, so kind of building off that, what about the Reddit post kind of drew you guys in? How about
Uh,
yeah, Skin, you go first. Sorry.
yeah. I'd sort of just moved to a new place. Um, I had lived in Baltimore for a while, and then a couple years ago moved to upstate New York.
Okay.
So I think I have sort of just been looking around for things to do both locally and not.
Mhm.
Um, so I think I saw it. It seemed like something unique and interesting,
Yeah.
and I had been kind of messing around with R and some data science stuff at the time, and I was interested to see how I could maybe apply that to the sim.
Okay.
Over
Yeah.
time, I sort of got to the point where I was like, I stopped trying to decipher and just gave into the madness. But uh,
That's fair. Do you do
that
data
was
science for work or school or something?
no, I'm a software engineer by
Okay.
trade, but it's kind of adjacent. I did a couple like small projects. I analyzed my performance in Overwatch
Okay.
over
Yeah.
the course of like 200 games to discover that I suck. And the way to get better is to not die more. Spoiler alert.
That's
Um,
a shocking news, to be honest.
yeah, sometimes data you just discover this stuff that makes it's common sense. It turns out there's a reason why it's common sense. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into the league and why I was interested in it.
Okay. And so you were saying that like the data kind of theory kind of brought you in. Is that kind of what kept you here? Or just kind of really, what other reasons have kept you here if you've kind of drifted away from that?
Yeah. I really I really enjoyed at least some of the different people. Um it's a really interesting community.
Yeah, interesting's a good word. I would
So
stick with that one.
46, I don't think is Reddit. So you probably would have saw it off of like our Baltimore, maybe. Are you a Ravens fan or?
Uh maybe it was on there.
Yeah, you probably saw it on Reddit, but it wasn't the big Reddit push. It might have been where like I know one time they did Eagles fans, and then I think at the same time they did Ravens.
It is possible.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyways, same thing.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like what kind of person does a simulated football league and like really sticks with it, and it's like turns out it's a
It's a
lot of different
type.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed how quiet it got when CFB came out.
hmm
It's
Yeah,
like the whole community is playing CFB because there's a type.
But
that's fair.
it reminds me a lot of like there are certain hobbies or things that people will drift to. It
Hmm.
feels like when they're really just like looking to try something new
Yeah.
or like connect with people.
Hmm.
And like that in itself draws a kind of person that is already sort of not prejudice, predicated or whatever,
Yeah.
already inclined to be kind of friendly or like be interesting. So especially my time in Norfolk, I really enjoyed that. Just get to know some of the different people in there, and then scouting. Obviously, it's
You've
always
been awesome
interesting.
scouting. You filled in massively. We needed that.
Yeah, I love just asking people questions, and
Hmm.
it's like, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I'm a computer science major in a small town in Wales, and I play a lot of rugby, and I somehow got involved with this niche online community that sims football games. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Hey,
So
you
you
know
went
what?
to
That's fair.
you're in Norfolk, and then how's your
yeah,
time in Norfolk?
it was really good. It was honestly can't not even remember how to pronounce his username, but the dinosaur man that is on NOLA, TT something something something.
T Money.
Yeah, T Money. There it is. I don't know why I forgot that. But yeah, so T Money was the GM when I came in, and he was
Dinosaur man.
pretty
That's fun.
pretty nice.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
because his renders like a is that a Pokemon
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
dinosaur?
is a Pokemon.
Yeah,
uh
It's okay. It looks dinosaur-y. I get it.
so enjoyed that. They're a little more active than our lobby,
Mm.
which is fine.
Y-
I
Yeah.
like to tell people that we're like it seems like our average age is like a little older than
yeah.
maybe
Yeah, I
the
think
average locker room.
we've like drafted a little older, at least since I got here. But
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's a vibe.
yeah. So
Everybody's got day jobs and can't be like flooding
yeah.
chat.
Yeah. But it was fun. Because then it was Scotty came in,
mm.
I think while I was still there, and so it's like all the like Hunger Games stuff and
Oh yeah.
just get chatting. And like I kind of came in right as a bunch of teams were figuring out the automated sim, and so I kind
Mm.
of was able to like help a couple people in Norfolk set that up because it's sort
Oh,
of
they
just
weren't
like
simming yet over there.
they were
Well,
simming,
it's
but they weren't
TSFL, so
they weren't doing the Python and all that.
gotcha.
So just being able to, not that it's like super complicated, but that's like kind of some software engineering stuff that I was able. So I like kind of got into simming a little bit there and getting the auto sim set up, and so
And then you helped us sim with the that Ultimus one.
yeah, yeah, I was simming for you guys a little bit on the side, and then I've simmed a little bit since I got here, but This could be a little soul sucking.
How do you how do you feel about it? It's a lie, yeah.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it was like just a coin flip.
it's not even that it's just a coin flip. Um, it just doesn't feel engaging
Mhm.
as a game for me. Like you want to feel like you make changes or you can like strategize or think about things differently and that you being able to strategize a little bit better than your opponent will like actually help
Mhm.
That makes
where
sense, yeah.
it's like
Usually we gave you a game plan. Can you tell us what the win rate is on
yeah
that?
well, like
Yeah.
that's but even amongst the game plans you're really scrabbling for it seems like about 5 to 10%, which is a decent amount, but yeah, and it
Yeah.
just it doesn't feel like there's like a logical connection all the
Mhm.
time between like this is what I would change because this is the personnel or this is what I think this team is going to run. Like sometimes there is, but a
Mhm.
lot of times it's like, well, we know that these are the levers that change. So like tempo and like aggressiveness or whatever, like we know that these things can change or affect the outcome. So we're just going to like brute force run through all of these variable and like different sets of these until we get the percentage that we think is the best versus like I don't know, like being able to think about like what their team is good at and what they might try to do at us and what we should try to do to them and like putting together a game plan that makes a little more sense in a human way versus like
Mhm.
I'm,
just trying to rig the machine to give us the outcome that we want.
I kind of approach it that way though. Like the first thing I do is look at everyone, like what they've done in the past, what how they played a particular team, a particular type, and then try and predict what they might do, but also what they last did. So there's
Hmm.
there's a little bit of it when you get super deep. But
Yeah,
then I don't know if you've seen it's straight up
you've been
madness. Yeah,
cooking. You've been cooking in that
that's a
sim
lot of
channel.
me talking to myself. So, and I
Yeah,
have to do that because otherwise I can't keep track of what I tried and what I haven't
yeah,
in the
Yeah.
brute force.
Like me in the AI chat room. Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Also feels that there's a certain. I mean, I guess I'll throw it back to you guys on this one since you're both more experienced and maybe done a little more GMing or such. But it does feel like maybe there's a little bit of lack of innovation. I don't know how you guys
yeah,
feel there.
yeah.
Like
There's
maybe.
minor tweaks that you can make. There's little tweaks where you might see a 5% increase, or I've seen 10% swings depending.
Yeah, but normally there's like, because most teams are kind of end up going to be mostly constructed the same. Like there's kind of just like the best game plan, and people kind of
Mm-hmm.
just build that game plan. And
Mm-hmm.
like I think,
And like you said, with the whole there's not much innovation, which is which is fair. It's true, but recently I just also tested like 2,000 plays. Or was it? No, it was 20,000. My bad. Yeah, it was 20,000 like first down, second down, just to get that all compiled and see because everyone's talking about there's a meta, there's a meta, there's a meta, and then I actually lined it up to see if there was a meta. For the most part, there is.
mhm.
Yeah, I guess it's interesting in the sense that since we don't have control over the sim, we can't sort of make changes or do
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
that kind of
that's the
stuff
other issue.
to kind of like shake it up.
You get like see
Or you could do
everyone's
balance
talking.
changes, but yeah.
Everyone says Chicago's lucky, Chicago's lucky, Chicago's lucky, but that's like 2 or 3 seasons now where they got first place or second and just did way better than everyone expected. But that wasn't just luck. That was them changing their game plan from week to week, trying to find out what was optimizing themselves, to get into that position to when there's like a lucky pick that it, affects the entire thing. So
Mm.
I don't know, it's part luck and it's definitely the sim just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's sometimes you can test 99% and then lose. So,
I've never seen 99%, but yeah. We've seen 85.
I think I tested above 90 one time when I was GMing Norfolk.
Oof.
And I don't know if I was doing something horribly wrong, but I'm pretty sure we lost. So I don't trust anything above 75% anymore. I'm like, well, if it's above 75, it's a toss-up.
Well, the thing is, it's always a toss-up.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's a
It's
coin toss in the end.
the phrase was any given Sunday, right? Something like that.
Or any given sim day, yeah. Thing's brutal.
Well, thanks for the that very thoughtful answer. It was didn't have to ask any more questions about there, but I'll come on back to Homer about the same question. Well, what keeps you here in the ISFL, Homer? What kind of drew you in on that initial post and kind of keeps you here in the league?
What drew me in was the I don't know, the idea of I've always enjoyed manager games and sim games, like franchise mode. That's what I always like. I don't play anything else but franchise mode.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I didn't realize it, but I already had game day. I already had the sim.
Okay.
Before even joining. I didn't even realize it was used or something. It was in my Steam. I played it already.
Well,
not to this level, but yeah. I think I had a newer version or older. I'm not sure, but anyways, really just Discord, talking a bunch of junk, and then watching. I love the slow build up of you put your character in, you put the attributes in, and then the slow build up.
Mm-hmm.
As you watch the payoff or not payoff, and then complete heartbreak or not. The wild highs and lows of watching your dot is absolutely fantastic. I love it. But then also the excuse to sit on Photoshop and talk to random people.
Yeah. Graphic design's your passion, right?
No, and I'm terrible at it, but I love it.
Hey, that works. Everybody's got a different reason for hitting Photoshop. Sometimes you love it, and sometimes you're really bad at it, and you do it anyways.
Yeah, it was that. It's a step up from Paint or Paint.net. That's what I used to love before.
Yeah.
Silly drawings on Paint.
Hey, gotta start somewhere, right? I guess I'll go ahead and answer. Well, for me, I know nothing about football. When I play games, I like to turn my brain off. I try not to think at all. So, don't really play a lot of sim games. I just here for the people mostly. And
how'd you get into it though?
Oh yeah, how am I gonna? So my first like Discord Reddit like league thing was this number guessing game called Fake Baseball. They haven't been advertised here in a while. Basically, you guess numbers and baseball stuff happens. And some of the people from there joined this league and they advertised in that league. And I was like, I know nothing about football, right? But I like D&D. I've always done that.
Hell yeah.
So someone's like, it's D&D but for football. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So I joined it and I watched my first sim, right? Absolutely hated it. I was like, this is so stupid. But someone was like, yeah, but you can keep making your character stronger. I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. So I max earned for my first career, and we were one of the worst teams ever. So that was great.
Which one was that?
The Philadelphia Liberty from season 22 through 30 something.
I've heard the tales.
Yeah, we were so bad at one point in time that head office almost had us play a DSFL team, and we fought against it because we were pretty sure we were going to lose. So That was great. We were like, either we win and nobody cares, or we lose and we're gonna be the laughing stock for forever. So like we
Yeah, there's
we
no
cannot
win,
have
huh?
this happen. We have to stop this. And there
There's
was
no winning.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened with that team, but just like the connections I made with people actually kept me here. And the only reason I keep coming back is just I like the people. I have no clue what my player does. You could read to me my stats all day. I'm like, sure, buddy. But, I like talking to people. I like meeting people. And like I have something to do when I'm bored at work besides playing Final Fantasy. So, you know, just gotta find
Then
something,
you've
right?
been here for 3 years.
Almost no. I've been here for almost 4 years.
Oh Lord.
No,
Wow.
almost five. 5. I mean, I can look really quick. I just wrote it in an article, and I can't remember. I joined January 6th, 2020. So, like a week before, no, a month before the COVID shutdown.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I'm a ISFL COVID baby. Back when
Oh,
we used to
so
be
you were
the
here before even the big COVID class came in, huh?
yeah, I was a GM during the COVID class, and there was 2 of us scouting the entire COVID class. That was the worst. Scouted like 150 people. But yeah, and that was so that each person scouted 150 people because there was like 300 people in that draft. It was absolutely horrible. Never do it again. uh, yeah. So I'm 4.5 years, and yeah, still here. So don't know how long I'll be here, but I'm enjoying it. Anyways, we'll go on to my next question here. Just kind of jumping, they're kind of jumping around here. But what would you say is your hottest ISFL take? You go ahead and start this time, Homer.
Hottest ISFL take.
Yeah, or DSFL if you have one.
Oh, hold on.
If you have one, Skinny, you can go ahead. If not, I can go ahead and answer.
Oh, I'm almost scared.
All right, I'll go ahead and take the flag
You
first
gotta,
because I have
you gotta
one.
edit yourself.
Yeah, I'm very vocal about this one here, right? Well, not very vocal. I've said it a bunch of times in different servers. I don't think recreates should be drafted in the DSFL draft. I think they've had their chance. They need to move on out of here and have like I want to have all the new creates in a draft, right? They all draft them, and then we just throw recreates either in their separate draft or dish them out randomly. I think it would
That'd be like
solve.
the prospect bowl, though, right?
Yeah,
Or no?
yeah, basically, right? So all your recreates, all your new creates would be drafted to their teams, and then kind of like the prospect bowl, based off position. The rest of the recreates would just be thrown out to the rest of the teams. I think it would solve a lot of the nepotism issues, if you will, about in the DSFL, and a lot
Okay,
of
so
recreates.
you think they should still play in the
Oh,
DSFL,
they
just
should
not
still play in the DSFL. Yeah,
okay.
like they should
Oh,
be.
okay.
Sorry, they should be randomly separated out into the DSFL teams.
Because I was
But
thinking a numbers issue here. I'm like, how do you?
no,
That's a
no.
numbers issue.
No, yeah. So they get thrown into the DSFL teams, but assigned randomly. So I don't want them to be drafted. I don't want to be wavered. I want them to, because I think they have a lot more like knowledge. And they should be able to go out and share the knowledge with all the new creates in a nice, even-ish way.
So that way it avoids teams that are just taking recreates, basically drafted that way. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
you want to just make it random, force everyone to get to know everyone else.
Yeah.
Nobody keep going back to Norfolk.
Yeah, I think I felt a little different. I always wanted to go back to Norfolk after I was a GM, and then I didn't. On my third player I didn't. It was my first time, and it was nice. I thought it was nice to meet like people.
Yeah.
I got to talk to people that like because I'd always my first 2 players were on the same teams the whole way through. They were both on Norfolk. They were both on Liberty.
Oh, that's boring.
And yeah, I liked it at the time because it was like safe, but getting to meet new people that I had known had been around the league but hadn't really like gotten to know them, well, it was nice. It was a good little change there. It's my hot take. It's not not. I have hotter takes probably, but that's the one we'll go with here. If you guys don't want to offer one up because you're too scared about it, it's okay.
No, I'm debating the best way to phrase it. On your point, I would agree. It's a double-edged sword because
Mm-hmm.
in some ways people come back to the league because they want to hang out or see people that they know.
Yeah.
I would also agree along that vein that I don't think people should be able to play for the same team twice in a row.
Okay. Yeah.
You should just not be able to go back to the DSFL team you played for in the previous season or the ISFL team that you played in the previous season.
Okay.
That could work.
Yeah.
That way, at least you have another bouncing spot. Because I mean, how many characters do you have generally?
I'm getting ready for my fourth. Right.
Yeah, it's not a lot, you know what I mean. So at least that
Yeah.
spreads it out a bit. And with the drop off, at some point, people don't. Not everyone gets to that level. So.
Yeah. Yeah. My second two players' careers have been much shorter.
Yeah,
So.
I can see that. And then because the DSFL, I think lately the DSFL has gotten way too cutthroat and competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because Tidge is just like winning constantly, or everyone else feels like they gotta. I don't know, but like all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden there's trades in the DSFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like in the middle of the draft trades.
Yeah. Would you
Like,
believe it used to be much worse than it is now?
oh, was it?
Yeah.
What changed?
um, HO got real mad. I'm pretty sure is what it was. It was a while ago, but like there was like some genuine like hatred rivalries in the DSFL before, and it was like some of the trades
I
were
just,
real cutthroat. It was weird.
I mean, everyone's pretty friendly, and it's a socialish kind of game, but at the same time, it's competitive, so I can see how that would
Yeah,
jump down.
no, but I think that's a good idea. I think it is. Yeah, it's nice. I think it would help a lot of like the people going to the same team over and over again issue. What about you, Omar?
Hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
My hot take. Well, no, I can't get into that.
Leave a
Yeah,
lukewarm take.
yeah. A lukewarm take. Ban City.
Ban simming.
Yeah, it's just ban City. I
Uh,
mean,
yeah, I think the SHL did that actually.
how's that going over there? Like, how do you? First of all, how do you actually ban?
So so it's different there because they don't send out the file, because the way the OOTP whatever the hockey version is engine works is like you can log in to an online file and you can like mess with your stuff, but
Like
you're not allowed to
FTP?
run simulations and stuff. So which because it those sims were broken because you could like easily with like a click of a button run like 5,000 sims. So people would spend like there were certain teams that had an advantage because they had like 4 or 5 people spending hours simming. I don't know, so I don't know the exact details. I have heard about it and I know that they banned simming. I don't know what's happened since then, but like some teams had a major like advantage because of that. So they banned it. They was like, hey, you can't do this with a file anymore. But I don't know how that would work for ISFL because of the engine. They send out the full file like
I
that.
imagine you just stop providing the file, but that they can't stop you from building your. With
Yeah,
a few mistakes here or there, but they can't really. I don't know.
yeah. I think it'd be. I think
Because
it would
competitive
go.
nature in me demands that I keep simming.
Yeah, it
But
it would keep people from like destroying their sleep schedule by simming. Like sometimes I feel like I've seen you simming to like 2 a.m. Like yes, go to bed. You know,
Mhm.
I
Well, I'm
think
not sitting there though. I have it on auto. I'm making tweaks. I'm looking. Sometimes I'm watching live just to see, and then
yeah,
you get a feel for it. But yeah,
yeah,
because
no, that's fair.
at the end of the day, then it's kind of like it feels like a religion
Yeah, I think
where you
yeah, people want to become more of
praying to
like
Sky Giver, Sim God, to help you out, and
yeah, and you don't want it to become like so insane like that you know you freak out whenever you lose an 85% game because you're like I tested 85%, why did I lose? And I spent
yeah.
because like you spend 14 hours simming and then you lose a game you test 85%, people freak out. You know, it's like
Wait,
oh
why are they so sure they're gonna win? I tested at 75%. What am
yeah
I missing?
yeah.
What am I missing? Run back to the
I could feel the panic in your text from earlier. You were like, "Ooh, why are they so confident? I tested 75%. What did I do wrong?" It's
what's up?
like calm down. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's madness.
yeah,
Savannah, just for my own health.
yeah. I think it'd be nice. I think you run the problem of like people who do play the game itself more, just know more, and they'd be able to leverage it anyways. It'd be kind of hard to. It has pluses and negatives, right?
Yeah.
I definitely don't. I don't disagree. I don't know if it would work well with what we have though. But,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see.
It would be cool if there was a way. I don't really have a fully formed thought on that.
I
It would
think.
be cool if there was a way to utilize, because Draft Day Sports has the capability where you can call the game play by play.
Hmm. That would be interesting. Yeah.
It would almost be interesting if you could like submit your own play sets for given down and distances,
Hmm.
Yeah, there
and then
is a way where you can create your own playbook. They just don't have it where we can incorporate customized playbooks. If that
Yeah.
makes
yeah,
sense. Like we have a set
it
playbook
would
that we
just the
have to
problem is
use.
it would just take more time.
Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah, because
Yeah,
then yeah, oh my god,
It'd become like a super top heavy for the teams that can test that all the time, right?
yeah,
So it would be cool. It'd be like to have the. I think it'd be cool to have that, not as the main league, but maybe like in a WS. It's not WSL, is it? The side off season tournament.
WCF.
WBC, WCL, yeah, sure. That's what I meant. Yeah, have that like you could do something like a fun one off thing like that, and do it with that, and just see how it works. That way, maybe people wouldn't spend so much time testing.
Yeah,
Maybe something you could propose to the not the community engage. There's definitely a team that handles stuff like that.
yeah,
And
because you couldn't really do it real time. It'd
yeah,
almost be like you would have to submit a set of plays, like maybe Madden style. You've got 3 plays that you would run on this down and distance, and then the sim team rolls the dice for you to determine which one you're gonna run. It gets weird though. I don't know, because it's the other thing. Like you watch the 7, you're like, you would definitely never pass in this situation.
yeah,
Please
yeah,
stop
like it's
doing
a
that.
weird, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Why
but
are
yeah,
you punting the ball and when you're down and fourth and
Other
short, right?
other hot take: punishment threads. I hate them. Why are
Really?
they open? Why do you let people comment on them?
Uh,
mm, why do you let people? So, do you think they should be completely hidden,
It should be
or
locked. No, it should just
okay,
be
locked?
locked because
mhm.
then it almost seems like it's insane. People get in there and just go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On one hand, I agree. On the other hand, that's like one of my great joys is commenting something completely stupid on a punishment thread that is not
I
related
was
at all.
exactly I was gonna say. People are like, "When's the next punishment thread?" Yes,
Yeah.
I think
like,
I'm like, when's
and then
Marvel?
I just find it humiliating. Like these
it's
poor
Marvel.
idiots, they
Yeah.
probably messed up. They probably feel bad, and
Yeah.
everyone's over there dancing on their grave.
You gotta really drag them through the mud or they'll come back. Ugh.
It's true.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I've never been in the head office
Mhm.
or HO or whatever and had to like write a decision and then watch people react to the decision I
Oof,
made.
I would be bad at that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd
but
be
like I
very
think
defensive.
there is a certain amount of steam that gets blown off, or like sometimes I guess it can get maybe out of hand. I mean, obviously they locked the thread with Norfolk where they were, Dallas was playing like their quarterback that already been drafted or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, it was the error where they didn't.
yeah,
The quarterback
they
got pulled up, but they still had him in the roster. Yeah,
yeah. So like I was on
that's
Norfolk when that happened.
no.
That's mad salt. But like in that one in particular, definitely seemed like people were pretty salty. Honestly, not really from the Norfolk side too much, but um, they
Yeah.
did have to eventually lock that. But I think a lot of the times it's just people can like meme or whatever, and it can keep it from getting too serious.
You're
Yeah.
like saying it's cathartic, kind of.
Yeah, like the people who feel the need that they have to go and say something, like they have a very specific place where they can go and say it, and they're not just like spewing it in
I
Gen
get that.
Chat or whatever else. Like,
Yeah. It's a compulsion. Not that I know, but it's a compulsion, right?
yeah,
I get that.
yeah. And I'm not even talking about your memes or whatever, but like people who have like real beef with,
Mhm.
whatever small administrative step the HO has taken, like they can say their piece in the thread and then it just is kind of contained there.
Yeah.
So I think
I
I
guess you gotta have thick skin to be HL though, because
Oh yeah.
the
I could never do
initial
that.
response is immediately
yeah.
heck HL, and you're just like, what? Why are they?
I just start banning people.
I'll be like, fuck you. Can I say that
Yeah.
on this?
Yeah, I'll allow it. There used to be this thing
Yeah.
called the Thunderdome, where there's a little spot
God.
in the forum. Yeah, where you could just like there was it was not the Thunderdome wasn't moderated. It was removed about the time around like my first couple seasons because it was just real bad. We're like, we got to remove this. It was
Yeah.
that's where like a lot of the vitriol used to be.
Oh God. Now it's just in what is that? NFL chat or something?
Yeah,
Is that where everyone gets banned now?
It's a
that's
good
what I
place to
hear.
get banned.
Yeah, I stay out of there.
Was it season? It's either the season before me or the season after me. It felt like there was like
A couple bans from there. Huh?
100 people getting banned. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
your season.
do
Yeah.
I do get what you're saying though.
Mm.
Um, yeah, my hot takes. I will submit two of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, first one is this isn't even really a hot take per se, I guess, but I think we should have a different sim. I
Mm.
realize that's not even really a hot take. It's just a lot of work,
No, I
and that's what
agree.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I think
It's a lot of work. But
this sim, having been around for as long as it has,
Hmm.
is slowly. I wouldn't say it's not killing anything. That's a little
it
hyperbolic.
goes back to your thing where you're talking about no more
Yeah.
ingenuity kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
they talk about in like, especially in card games or like Magic, kind of has this sort of where they talk about like there's what is it? It's Spike and Timmy,
Yeah, I
and
know
then
what you're
who's
talking about. I can't
one sec, I
remember what
can
it
pull it
is.
up.
Look at that.
Johnny. All right, so there's like Spike and then Johnny slash Jenny or whatever. So the idea is that Spike is the competitive player,
Hmm.
and they're gonna always play to win and play optimally, and that's
Hmm.
what they find to be fun.
Yeah, yeah, Optimum, yeah.
And then
Masters.
you have Johnny, and Johnny's playing to be creative, and they find it most fun to find unique and interesting ways to put their deck together or to build strategies just to see if they work out,
Hmm.
and like that's what they think is fun. And then you have Timmy, which doesn't really apply, but they just like to play big big minions and do like crazy things. But
Yeah.
uh,
Wild card.
so it's like there's when people play games, they're kind of looking for these different things, and it feels like the more that this we stay on the sim, the more it kind of stagnates into a very defined meta without the ability to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
The more it's going to play into the fun of a certain particular type of person, which is still a valid like way to play the game. But um
It seems like in like Magic though. Magic releases what? There's 4 times where they release a new deck, new set.
uh I don't play Magic. I only know about this
Yeah.
this
In
archetype.
theory,
But,
okay, the
but yeah,
theory, yeah.
but like they release new sets, they cycle what's in their standard or
But it's
whatnot.
all
They
more
have
of the
Mm.
same, yeah.
yeah, so they can cycle cards in and out to keep the meta fresh. They have also, I mean, they also have different, game types. So you play standard, you play unlimited, you play commander, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it would be nice to move to a new sim. It's
Yeah.
probably not a hot take, but second hot take, which may be an actual hot take.
I'm ready.
I'm not a big fan of the 150 word point task and wiki entries
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I don't like writing and I'm not very good at it.
Preach. Thank you.
I think I think for those smaller tasks with lower rewards, I should be able to use AI to assist my writing so that I'm
Mm.
not spending a ton of time trying to crank out
Do they
150 words.
read that? Do they actually read it?
I don't think they do.
Someone must. It just, oh, it just feels like just some pointless exercise. I want
Uh,
to edit myself, obviously, but it feels like a
yeah.
pointless exercise into the. I
I
was
know
trying to
there's
make mine about Zenzaroni.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't disagree. It can feel really really repetitive. Like, oh, it's only 150 words. I'm like, yeah, but you do 150 words every week for a year. It's like, do I really want to do it again this year? And
It's pretty easy though. It is. It's pretty easy, but also, I
yeah,
always save mine for Sunday, last hour or two before it's due, like under the gun, you know.
yeah, I do that, and I have been forgetting a lot. I'll do it Sunday, and then I kind of forget. I'm like, I could do something
Yeah.
else with my time instead. Like,
That's why I put my predictions in early. That way I could fix them later.
yeah, I
I
think
never do.
yeah, I think it'd be nice if there was a better way that we could do progression than just write 150 words. Like there was, like we didn't used to have graphics. We had a graphics, which was nice. Sometimes it takes me longer to make graphics than the 150 words.
Yeah,
But if we had like a better way to do it, that would like also driving like engagement, but like 150 words doesn't always really drive engagement. The only people that read those are
Yeah.
the sim team and then
some are
few other
fun.
people. Yeah,
We found someone who reads them.
Oh,
yeah,
Zenzaroni will go through them. By the way,
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we had punishment. I can't remember. I think pretty sure we had punishment in the past for somebody using AI. So people do read them. They read them
Yeah.
very closely. I don't know, but I use voice to text, and it can look like AI sometimes. That's the only way I can do them. I have to dictate it because if I try and put it down on like into like
you tried.
coherent words on like typing, I use like a quarter of the words. So if I just
Yeah.
like start talking, it's just easier.
You should stream of thought.
Yeah, you start throwing in
Yeah.
extra words, when you're talking that you don't put down when you're writing.
Yeah. I just like what is the goal
Mm-hmm.
of the point task? Like is it to make people commit a certain amount of time
Thought.
Mm-hmm.
or are you trying to you know, truly build a narrative for the league or like I don't know. Like depending on what the mission is for the point task, or like what the point is there another way that isn't writing
Yeah.
to do that?
Yeah, no,
And
I
like
agree.
people will say graphics, but like I think like you said, I think most people would agree that graphics, while maybe more interesting than writing, does tend to take more time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, is there a way that I can show that I am still showing up every week? I'm still chatting in the Discord, like,
Mm-hmm. Like you can show that you're engaged without having to like tie up a point task every week. That feels
yeah.
pointless. Yeah, no, I get it. It is.
I imagine the PT separates also, like, if you have your hairdresser sign up,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
hairdresser's not going to put that kind of time in, not going to earn. You know what I mean? It's
It is
probably a way to keep, like, it's a way to separate activity, I guess,
Yeah.
from
yeah.
complete IA.
I do know people who have been like interested by the league, but like the point task or like the one thing that just like drove them off. They're like, I just don't want to do that. It feels like homework.
Yes.
It feels homework without like learning.
What was I gonna say? Oh, this also isn't even like a hot take. And well, I'll stop. At this point, I'm just like, I'm just complaining.
Hey, you know,
There's no hot takes.
that's what I normally do. I just get
That's
on these
what
things and
hot
complain.
take.
Yeah, I
I'm feeling
mean,
the glimpsed.
I would love if we could do something else, but like I have no suggestion about a better way to do it. You know, I'm like, maybe we can just like do a sim for it. We could sim something interesting, but I'm like, what am I just gonna sim the same thing over and over again? It's like, it's tough, right? But it does feel pointless. I agree. Any other closing thoughts on that question? Not. I have a couple more here that I have before we can. So we'll go ahead and throw in one of the user questions.
Ready.
So, Lord Coolcast wants to know if you had to fist fight your own skeleton, which bone would you target first?
Oh, yeah. My own skeleton?
Yeah,
Oh, you got to go kneecaps.
kneecaps.
Yeah.
Definitely kneecap.
Does the skeleton have cartilage at all, or no?
So it would be the two, but what is that? The femur and then the labia in between. I
Okay.
think there's a bone. No, there's not a bone. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll be honest.
I'm going kneecaps.
It's an interesting question. I mean,
I would go for the neck bone.
it's gonna be pretty painful, regardless of where you do it.
Yeah, like what would actually knock out the skeleton though? It's interesting.
I mean, yeah. What knocks it out? I mean, it's already like magically
Sorry, a skeleton.
animated. So
Just hit the head.
Kneecap.
is it just raw damage?
Yeah, is this bludgeoning damage or is it like arcane damage? You know.
One leg gone, thing can't chase you as easily.
But it can bite you still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can run at that. Like, what is it? Are you chained up? Can you not run?
He does not. He does not elaborate. It's
Yeah. I feel like boring answer would be like the skull, because it's relatively thin and
Definitely zombie.
yeah, like
Definitely a zombie answer.
that. Yeah. But yeah, like fun answer. I'll go like I'll say like fun answer, left pinky, because that's the only bone I've ever broken. So that would definitely be a weak spot.
yeah, that's fair.
Tickle the feet.
I just had shoulder surgery, so I guess I could aim for the shoulder, right? I guess that's my muscle.
Yeah.
What about you, Dev? You just popped. You showed up here. What? Yeah, I'm not trying to sound rude by that. By the way, well, what bone would you target?
It's definitely, if it were me, it would definitely be the hips.
Okay.
I have arthritic hips, so they'd probably break easy.
So that's what you get. Yeah.
That's a fair point. All right. Just no questions. Back to another one of my own questions here before I move on to this. This is a horrible question. Scotty wrote, but and my question was: outside of the Wraiths, which team has your guys' favorite branding? Can't pick us. Got to pick somebody else.
I feel like I need to pull up.
Didn't he write? And why is it at Norfolk?
Yeah, he said, why is
Or why
Norfolk
is
the
it?
greatest DSFL franchise? It's not, it's Tijuana. It's objectively Tijuana. I'm sorry.
Portland.
I don't know. It's like
It-
saying
I mean, objectively, they have the. I mean, right, I was an old Norfolk GM, but objectively,
gotta say
Tijuana
Portland.
has like 13 rings, right?
Yeah, but Tijuana versus Portland, they're split 3-3.
Okay,
like a soulless machine.
it's fair.
Are we talking about branding though? I would actually have to go with luchadors here with branding.
Yeah, they are.
Hey,
Yeah.
they're good.
If you go with good branding, yeah, absolutely, luchadors.
Yeah, I think Honolulu actually does some pretty fun stuff with their branding.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little tank symbol they had for a while as their Discord server icon.
That's fair.
I feel like Second Line has the most branding potential that is untapped.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could do some more fun stuff with
They
that.
do some fun stuff with it. I think they should just flood it more. Though.
Yeah, little dude.
They even have their section, the boneyard. We used to play dominoes all the time and yell about the boneyard.
I would
But,
say for potential wise, Kansas City, which is completely untapped. Like
Throats up.
the Wile E. Coyote stuff you can do.
Mm.
I always thought their slogan should be throats up.
So
See that? Yeah. I like the fire salamanders, because I've wanted to put a team in Berlin, for a while, just because it was the opposite of Liberty, and I thought it'd be funny to move our team there at the time. And so they took my idea and ran with it, and so they have, by default have to have my vote, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
I will say, it took me 2 years to realize that Arizona and Austin were two separate teams. They're both got brown in it. They both start with an A, and they're both Westernish themed.
Oh, you thought they were like alternating?
I thought they were
logos or
this, like
something?
every time somebody said Austin or Arizona, they were the same team to me. I'd be like, oh yeah, there's Austin. Like, no, it's Arizona. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is what I said.
They both start with A, and then you trailed off from there, right?
Yeah, basically, they both start with A.
And then trail off.
Yeah, that's all I cared about. You know?
I was not paying attention anymore.
Yeah, not my team. Why do I care?
Shiny.
Yeah, it was probably about 2 years before I realized it, because like I was on my second player, maybe even third player, and one of them scouted me, and I answered the question. Then like the other one scouted me. I was like, "Didn't I already answer your questions?" They're like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I thought you guys already messaged me." It was a completely different team. I was like, "Oh shit! How long have you guys been in the league? You know, longer than me."
I had a problem where scouts were not really saying what team they were from.
Mm-hmm.
And when people message you and they have a total different name, you're like, I have no idea who this is, and I feel too embarrassed to ask at this point.
Yeah.
Now that you're here, Dev, talk about you just recently got drafted, and for the you're like brand new. Talk about your experience.
I mean, it's a lot of fun in the beginning, and I'd say by the time you get down to the last like 2 or 3 teams, you're like, I'm really tired of the same questions being
Yeah.
over and over again. But I mean, it was pretty awesome. I mean, I like how it has the 2 leagues for that. That's you get like your little introduction as a rookie, but it's safe and easy, and then you get the real questions.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking DSFL and then to ISFL. The
Yeah, like
process.
I think I really appreciate that there's the two leagues.
Yeah.
And no matter what, if you continue on in it, you always have at least that draft experience as long as you're staying active.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm kind of going back to some questions I had earlier, but may as well ask you here. How did you find the ISFL? Kind of what kind of kept you here so far?
Bengals Forum.
Okay.
Now I've also been in sim leagues for probably a decade.
Okay.
But different. I was in baseball simulation leagues that were not player driven. Like
Yeah,
we would
franchise ones.
we would GM whole teams, like OOTP kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would have 30 owners, and we would start the league fresh, and we'd have your 26-man rosters, and you would have like a 45 to 50-man reserve roster, and from there it's like, who knows baseball the best?
Yeah.
So yeah, and you do everything from there. It's a very different, but that just became too much work for me because I don't really follow baseball anymore, and I love football, so this was an obvious go-to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Let's see. Other questions here. So for everybody, I guess. So you may or may not have watched or read a lot of like media. Any that kind of stand out as your favorite piece, and you're allowed to pick Zen's media if that's the only stuff you've read. If you haven't read media, that's okay too. If you have any, is there anything that like kind of sticks out to you?
I have one.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Austin's review. I forget which season it was, but it was like a season past where like, where are they now? I think that was Austin. Yeah, I thought that was quite good. And it was really cool to see the older players be like, oh man, I remember those people.
Was that the 41? Was it the season 41, I think?
It might be, yeah.
Oh, it might have been 44. Oh, no, did T Money do 44? Yeah, T Money did 44.
Where is season 141 now? I'm dying. That's what I'm doing.
Regressing.
Everybody else, you guys have anything that stand out?
Anything Zen.
I guess I like the draft analysis because it's always fun when I see a little alert and I'm like, why is someone tagging me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've put me in the second round at some pick and they're like, it's interesting to see people like talking about you that I have myself never talked to, and I'm like, I wonder where they're getting their opinions of me from. Maybe not written media, but there's a guy in Norfolk. What's his name? Sonic Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
He does some good gifs and
Is he
like
GMing
kind of.
now?
Yeah, I think so. Which is a real. I think he's like. I guess it's his second season, but yeah.
At 49.
Yeah, I like his kind of gifs and stuff. He did the whole Avengers Endgame like 10-part gif. It's like
Yeah, the gifts are fantastic.
it's like 5 minutes long. You're just like watching this entire scene.
That's what I love about the league. All the art that pops up.
Yeah. So I like that stuff.
It's fair. I have my favorite piece of media is probably a really hot take. So I'm not going to say their names because they tried to erase this media from memory. But I'll go ahead and bring it back without saying their name. There was this idea to have players in the league post anonymous thoughts and hot takes on the league, and they posted all of them. And the just the vitriol and like this the discussion around it was wild. And they've deleted the media, and they should have, but it was a peak memory of something that happened. And something that
anonymity is dangerous.
Something that didn't happen that I really wish would happen. You might have heard about this. Is the NSFL. The NSFL Bachelorette, and that one probably got way too much more hatred, but the idea was to go on fake like bachelorette game dates with the commissioner at the time. And I thought it was hilarious and would have been really funny to watch, but it definitely got taken the wrong way. And I think it would have been a great piece of media if it ever actually got finished. Probably good that it didn't, but I think it would have been hilarious. So I have a lot of like my favorite media is like the
Just
stuff
gotta
that like
censor yourself.
yeah, like nobody wants to like think about this media anymore. I'm like, oh, that was so good. They just want pure chaos. Do you guys have any sin moments? I know some of you I guess you haven't had a ton of experience in the league from back and forth, but there's a word. I'm losing the words there. Anyways, the question was if there any memorable moments in the sim for you so far.
Last week with the offensive lineman catching a touchdown,
That's actually I didn't even know it could happen. Could happen.
I didn't know they could. Well, actually, we saw a kick. Oh no, okay. So, Yellowknife was playing Honolulu, and Honolulu was tanking, and they came back from like 21 points to end up beating us. It was a terrible meme game, but in that their kicker caught a pass.
What?
Yeah, their kicker caught a pass. Somehow, for some reason, the kicker was in a wide receiver spot, caught the ball, and you could noticeably see because all of a sudden, like,
Oh yeah, I
the
remember
dot
that.
just moved so weird. Then
Very
you
slow.
realize that it was like, is it JDC who's kicking for them?
I can't remember, but I remember the dot was just like inching along
Yeah.
at like 25 speed or whatever.
And you'd think with like one hands and they
He
would
brought
be
it
able
down.
to, but no. So that O lineman who has more hands than like O lineman, Dev? Do you know what they cap at? Like 75 on their hands or something? 50?
It's something like that. Yeah, 75, I think.
Yeah, it's higher than So, I guess.
I have two very quickly. One very quick, and then one a little more. So that the 100-yard pick six last week was pretty good.
Mhm.
But I would also say the F50 group Prospect Bowl lead up was amazing. And not so much even just because of the games, but because of how into it that class it was, and the fun banter around it was amazing.
Hey, that's fair. I think that's some of the things that prospect bowls are great for, right?
Yeah, S50's going off on the Prospect Bowl, huh? They were like, there was artwork coming out of Prospect Bowl.
Really? That's
huge.
Yeah, like sets of defensive groups like being rendered versus it was hardcore.
Hmm.
And that was
There was
Prospect Bowl.
there was literally probably, I would say, like 9 defensive ends and 8 offensive linemen who were all active, and it was just pure shit talk. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, didn't somebody get in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Mogaga, I think, got popped potentially, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I love the passion though.
Yeah.
So S50, man, they're doing something.
So, my favorite is so it was season 28, and we were playing the Chicago Butchers. It was with 5 seconds left. Their kicker kicked a field goal to put them ahead by 2. And I made a 102-yard kickoff return to walk off the game.
Whoa!
And I have never let.
Wait, was that
anybody
recent?
No, that was season 28. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, no, that was not on this team. That was on the Liberty. So I have never let anybody from Chicago live that down, and I never will. Because that's I peaked. That was it. I peaked there, and I've never made a better play since then, and I never will.
You've lived in that glory forever.
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
How much TPE did you have?
season 28. I would have to look. I was max earning at the time, so
Oh yeah.
I was never a first pick in fantasy wide receiver or a second pick. I was probably I was a tier 2 wide receiver at my
You were a
best.
return specialist, weren't you?
I was not. The return specialist was not in
Oh, that's
not
another
in the
time.
game yet.
Gotcha.
I was a speed receiver, so they didn't have return specialists yet. But I was a return specialist in spirit, basically.
In life.
Yeah, I think I would have to check, but I'll toot my own horn for a couple more seconds. I think I have one of the top receivers, if not the top receiver that franchise has had. At least until I stopped keeping track of it after my second player, and think I'm in the top 10 receiver like over career stats and seasonal stats in the league. Um, which nobody really cares about returners. It's not something anybody but me has ever strived for, but it's a little thing I have at least because I was a subpar actual wideout. I was only good at returning. Also because I didn't add towards hands, but
That'll do it.
yeah, you needed speed and agility first, and then I worried
You're
about
all
everything
just
else.
agility and speed, as we say.
Yeah. I wasn't wide receiver 1 until like I was almost in regression, so I didn't really worry about it too much. I was only targeted for like long passes, so I was like, all right, I'll just go with my strength. So I did. Any other memorable sim moments that we guys got?
Guess none yet for me.
All right. Then here's my big spiritual question here, right? Um, if you could pick one thing that you could do that would make the league more enjoyable for you, what would it be? For me, it would be not having dots to watch. I'll be honest.
You want full renders?
I barely understand football as it is, right? Having dots play football makes even less sense to me. I've tried to watch The Sims. I cannot understand it. I have no clue what's happening, and the fact that the games are not done live. Maybe if they were done like live, they would help. The game days kind of help, but they're not in sync at all. So I still have no clue what's happening sometimes. It would be nice if they would stream them live and have live commentary. It'd be other leagues do it. Some leagues, not all leagues do it. Some leagues do it, and I find it easier to understand what's going on. And plus, it's nice when you hear them say your name. They can explain a little bit of the basics about teams. Like I don't really follow. I have not until recently started like following the storyline of other teams. So when I'm playing like, you know, the Osaka Kaiju, right? It's the first team I picked. So I'm gonna pick on them because it's Chicago. I just don't really like know going in if I'm not paying a lot of attention, unless of course I follow everything going on. But if I just watch the sim, like I don't know anything about that team, right? I don't have any like any basis or of like, oh well, this team has a really good quarterback, but their defense is weak, right? I'm just like, oh, well, I guess we're winning or losing, so I guess I'll just look at the box score instead. That's kind of always how I've been. I just wish there was a little more storyline to it, I guess, and having like a better sim, I think would help with that for me. How about you guys? It's a pretty deep question, I guess. So
Yeah, I mean, I think I touched on a few things, so I'll go a different direction. Obviously, I mentioned a new sim and
Mhm.
don't like the point test and all that, but it just it's hard because I don't know the technical
Mhm.
behind the scenes of it, but it feels like if we can do an automated bank, we should be able to do automated TPE, and I think that would make a world of difference,
Yeah.
both for keeping people in it, but also like retention of new people and ease of getting them into the league and
Mhm.
all this other stuff. Like
You
update
don't
posts are
you
a
don't
bummer.
you don't find it easy, or
uh, I do now.
yeah, I
Um,
guess once you
but
get the hang of it, but yeah.
I mean,
I would say I did not before, and especially when you're a rookie. You
Yeah, it can
know,
be daunting.
it's almost trickier when you're a rookie because it's one of the few times where you're really gonna have to balance some things being in a claim thread versus
I
some
messed up
things
my claim thread so
Mhm.
badly. I was
like
negative 75 or 75 TPE that I had to fix.
yeah.
I imagine the writing part shouldn't be too hard, but it's finding everywhere you got to find it at,
Yeah,
like an
so
aggregate of where it should all be.
Mhm.
like now almost all of my points except for training and activity check come from whatever week 5 claim thread, week 3 claim thread, whatever.
Mhm.
But like when you're a rookie, it's like you have to know to look for your points in the claim thread, which will come out at some time, which is fine. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Then the rookie
it's
task.
then you have your activity check, which is another different way of claiming TPE. You claim that instantly.
Mhm.
So you will do the task and then you'll score it. And then you also have these tasks like the wiki task where you just need to know to check back on your own post periodically because that is where you'll be awarded the points and then that's what you're going to link to. So you have these like almost 3 different methods of knowing or needing to know where to go to check on all of your points. And that can be a little confusing. And then on top of that, you also then need to, properly format your update post and do all of this math, which is prone to error as I have many times. And so it's like, especially if you're coming in and your expectation is like, well, I do this task and someone then adds $500,000 to my bank. Like, why can't I just do this task and someone adds 5 TPE to my bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Other leagues have it. I do know why we don't have it. You're not gonna like the answer.
what is it? I mean, is it a technical difficulty or is it?
No. I'm pretty sure. I haven't been told this directly by a first person source, but I think we have the back end that other leagues have given us their back end. Is that we just haven't had anybody
SHL.
really to, yeah, SHL has it, SSL just got it. It's just nobody's had the energy or willingness to put in the time to doing it.
To
Like,
rehooking it up, recoding it.
yeah, I could do it. I don't want to. uh, I hate coding in my free time, right? So
They just need someone that is their job and they don't need to do anything else
yeah,
in like league wise. Like
yeah,
they need someone that doesn't have something going on already.
yeah, and I mean more like I code for my real life job, right? So if they would pay me my rate, they would probably not be able to afford it. So I'm not gonna do it in my free time because I'm greedy. So, but
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
I have coded for leagues. Well, before kids, I used to code for for fake baseball, on and off. And since I have a lot less time now, I just don't want to. It's gonna be a lot of time and a lot of dedication for not a lot of return.
Coding, I'm told, is quite stressful.
It's not my favorite
Can
thing.
be.
Can and can't be.
Depends.
Yeah.
So it's just you just need someone who can. What is the back end of the website? Is it like JavaScript or what do we?
I would have to ask. I've never seen it myself. used to be in the SHL dev server. I don't know if I am anymore. I very
Must be some
rarely
sort
get
of
rid of servers.
database
Yeah,
code.
I think Luke Candidates wrote it, so I'd have to. Pretty sure that's who wrote it. I'd have to look at
Maybe
it.
the league should put an ad out that, like, if anyone or a group of people want to take that on, then we have that job available.
Yeah,
Rather than it just being behind the scenes, like, let people know. Like, I know there's coders that are in S50 just from doing interviews with them. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
can look at it, especially since we have the bank. Like, web dev isn't my wheelhouse per se, but it's all
Readable,
it's all
legible.
coding
yeah.
at some point.
We do have a development team of just 2 people. So if you're genuinely interested, I could point you in their way if you have questions about it. I don't know. I used to know both of them. I haven't talked to them in a couple of years at this point, but they might have some better insight on it, why it's been stopped. I think we used to have more developers. I think we've had a lot less volunteering the past couple of years or so, as far as I know. So, but I could always
Hmm,
point you their way.
yeah, I can at least just look at it and be like, get an idea of what I think the level of work is.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think there's definitely examples you could use for stuff that's been done before. So I mean, it'd still be a bulk amount of work, but not like you're landing on the moon or something. As it's something that's been done before.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't really have any other good questions.
I got
Did you
one
guys?
for that.
Okay.
Um, someone said it the other day, but if line played both sides of the ball, I would never play anything else
Oh
in
hell
my
yeah!
entire career. I would play both sides of the ball,
If you
offensive
had the
and defensive
OL
line.
also play the DL, you could be a DT and a
Yeah,
T.
forever. I'd be both forever.
That would be. I wonder, because then you got the stamina issue, but I don't know. Set everyone at 100. Let
You'd
them
have
go.
to you'd have to play as two
Two,
different players
yeah, two
almost.
different players.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
That would be cool. So you do one task, it gets the same amount of XP for both, or
But you
two
get one
each.
salary kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be putting your points in like the same way or put them differently?
You would you would just earn the same amount for each player.
Okay.
They'd be identical.
Yeah.
That is. I never thought about that before.
Heck, I think you even keep them identical too. Just
I
clown.
wonder if it would be too popular then.
You couldn't
Is
have
that
too
just
much
me?
line. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always picked offense because I understand what it is. So I don't know if I would pick it, but I know there's people that do like defense, and
It was
that might give
originally
them a reason to.
defensive line.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
probably be a
My
good
other
use of it.
answer for this would be as a sim nerd, I would love way more options for like playbook stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it definitely one of the things. It feels like it's almost cyclical because people come like in and out of the league, but it feels like there's like sim wisdom where people, because there's like all these balance changes that have been made, but then as new people, or at least in my experience, I'm like, I don't know why. Because it's like, you know, I found out, I can't remember who told me, I don't know if it's Tuba or what, but they're like, yeah, we can't do blitzes because they did testing and found out that blitzes are just like ridiculously strong. And so you could like never, you like have to restrict the playbook because if you opened it up,
I don't
you would
think
just
it's
pick,
blitz, but yeah,
or like cornerback blitzes specifically or something. There's something where it's like if you you could
can't have
call this
direct control.
you could call this play and it would work like
Like I know long, you
way
can't
too
set
low.
long into the passing scheme. Like short, medium, outside,
Yeah.
you can't go long because it's broke. It's seen it. It's broke.
I think it would definitely be fun to have more control over the sim. I
Mhm.
do think some of it is like this hidden, balance changes they made way back because after testing, turns out the sim's not a very good sim of football in certain ways.
Not not when the clock's running down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When it matters most. My God.
it's always been a little stupid. I guess I did kind of run into some. Did everybody answer my previous? Homer, did you answer my previous question? I was thinking about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of went a little fast there. So
Which one?
about the what would make it more enjoyable.
Oh yeah, enjoyable. That's
So
right.
I did realize you're right. I did kind of go that one, skip that, skip out of that one too fast
I
there.
do like that line stuff. Offensive line. I think that's good for retention and the problem. There's not enough linemen.
Nope, you got to come up with your own answer.
Yeah, but I like that one. What about this? What about um, you could play both offensive line and defensive line?
That's, you know what? I haven't heard that before.
I would enjoy that.
All right, I'll be honest. It took me a second, and I realized this. You can't trick me. That's exactly the same thing he said, right?
Yeah, but what if you could play a 4-3 defense?
Yeah.
You lost me. I'll be honest. You lost me there.
Oh, that's just 4 linemen instead of 3.
Yeah. Wait, you'll have to explain that one to me later.
It's personnel. It's personal.
I watch only baseball, so well, you can teach me about football strategy another time. You guys, any other fun questions you want to bring up? If not, and we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes already. Believe it or not.
I think I'm about good.
All right.
Good. We'll
Well,
have to do this weekly. That way, Sergey could get some money.
weekly. That's maybe bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
I can maybe do bi-weekly. Weekly's I gotta come up with these questions. It took me like a week to come up with these questions on my own.
I could only do bi-weekly because I
We could throw 'em
work
in.
opposite days,
Hey, that's
week
fair.
to week.
Well, we can figure out a good release schedule then.
Yeah, whenever.
I'll come up with some more fun questions next time instead of just meet the people. So,
Just need to get Sergey Nunca Block beefed up.
I mean, I'm doing okay.
hey,
Do you have
there.
your equipment yet?
No, I don't have equipment.
See, we need to get your equipment.
You're doing better than me. All right, so don't let them get you down.
It's like 36 TPE. We gotta get you.
That's true.
Technically, mathematically, buying weekly training every week is actually worth more, but it's more efficient, believe it or not. You knew that, right?
Yeah, the 5 TPE.
Yeah, you know that it's definitely. You should only buy equipment if you can already afford all the weeks of your weekly training.
Yeah, that's true.
It's mathematically efficient.
True. Before my first time buying my tier 6, I had to make sure I had all the weeks planned out. I triple checked the numbers.
Get a yap, man. Just get a yap.
Yeah, my secret plan is what I do is I play one player and never buy training or equipment for that entire player, and then the next player I'm all set up. It's genius. It only takes you like a year and a half by your next player. You're set for their whole career.
This character's tanking.
Yeah.
Next character is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, you play like a really cheap TPE position, and you're like, yes, now I can play wide receiver. And then you get drafted to a team, and they switch you to cornerback, and then they need wide receivers, and then you're just stuck in your position, having no clue what's going on anymore. And then they never let you return.
It's very specific.
It is very specific.
Zoot.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll go ahead and get this posted, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
All right, see ya.
Have a good one.